Good evening, Speed Gaming, and welcome to another fantastic edition of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament 2020. I am your host, Dark Moon EX, looking forward to this fantastic battle between asher1611 and Crabcakes2. This is going to be a fantastic, high-stakes run. One of them is going to try and make sure that they're insured for the play-in race. The other one might be facing the last chance qualifier if the next couple weeks don't play out so right for them. I am joined in the booth by the real Super Pleb and Tyrnex Pleb. How is it going over there?
Pretty good. I'm excited to see this match. Asher's a pretty strong runner, and as we know, Crabcakes is the 2017 champion, or 2019 champion. So this should be an exciting race to watch, especially with this draft.
Tyrnex, what are you looking forward to for this one as our third man in? Tyrnex, you over there with us? Okay, we'll check back in with him in a bit. His mic might have died at this point, but it looks like our people are ready to go. In case you are wondering, we do have a drafted party. There we go. Brain locked up for... We do have a drafted party. In case you were curious, Asher was the first to be able to pick. He chose a fighter. Crabcakes, being Crabcakes, went with two more fighters. And then Asher, deciding that was a little too insane, went with a red mage just to try and balance it all out. I'm about to release the runners, throw that green flag down, and then we should be able to go. Pleb, I know you're newer to this than I am, but you've got some experience under you. If you were stuck with this kind of party, what would your play be?
Kill two of my fighters and try and two-man my way through the seed as best as possible.
And we are rolling. Okay, so we're about to see the runners start up any second now, and then we'll be able to see just what it is they decide to do with this, let's be frank, dumpster fire of a party. I mean, it's playable. You get those swords, the fighters are going to be good. You get some magic on the red mage is going to be good. How they do it, what they do with it, this is going to be the interesting thing. It's certainly much more reliant on the equipment you get. I doubt we'll be seeing them sell any of that opal gear they find just because it's going to be a little too valuable. Any second now, guys. you gotta love stream delay right there, you know? There we go. Alrighty, we see Asher moving. Crabcake starting just a little behind. 5-second delay, not a big deal. Tier 3 in the 4th slot, about the only thing I saw that I really liked there from quick glance. Brack, though, and the black magic is lovely. That is a must-buy spell. Pleb, do you usually pick up Brack when you see it?
Oh, most definitely. If it's the only option I got for killing Garland, I'm gonna take Brack every time.
I mean, it's great for other things as well. Kraken, Tiamat 1, both of those are good. I do very much love Brack. It's one of the best instant death spells for the late game. TNT for sale for 7,000. That automatically changes the dynamic of this. For me, that means Toph is on the table. Definitely want to go check that while killing off Garland. Also, maybe have to check Matoya's closet, see if she has anything lurking in there that might pay for it. Maybe even sell a good piece of gear if I find it just to get that, because that TNT, for me, says Dwarf King.
Looks like Asher's going to be the first to reach the Temple of Phoenix.
Cece might be going for a little bit of experience and money right there. One Grimp, though, is not going to quite cut it. I can definitely see the value of doing an early grind on imps, get a couple levels under your belt. It's not the fastest way to grind, but if you see something nasty in the pool there for the enemies, then, you know, it's potentially one of those things where you definitely want that health, those levels.
Asher finding the loose canal up in Topher in the top chest. That's a good find early.
I mean, loose canal is nice. Certainly helps out. I think you said canal, right?
Canal indeed.
Thank you, because my brain suddenly, like, misfired. I'm like, did you say canoe? Am I just being an idiot? No, canal is nice. At least it means that you don't immediately have to go to marsh.
Until you have to go to March. And that's how a lot of these seeds have been rolling lately. Looks like Asher's going straight to Provoca for the level 2 check. And his key item from the Pirate Biggie.
Depending upon if they get the cube, I would definitely say Sky is on the table. I mean, you can go to Mirage right now, especially with that canal. I think that play might be a little too early just yet, especially with this particular party. Fighting the pirates is an essential thing, but I think maybe wait for the cube before you go over there. If Tyrannix is with us, I would be interested in his insight on where you would go with a chime, but not yet a cube. Thinking he must have stepped away.
Asher's gonna have no problem with these.
Yeah, no, it's slow going, but since we have safe pirates on, it's really just a matter of how long it takes. Invis 2, Fade, Ruse, I think I saw at the White Magic. That is a lovely stacked level. And Nuke and Lit 3. Whew, and the Crown. Hey, Crown can be used. Crown can be turned in right now. So, for me, Pleb, I like seeing that Nuke. I like seeing that Invis 2. I also honestly like seeing the Fade and the Ruse there, because that's not useful for your Red Mage right now. Nuke's a little better than Fade, but all of those can be dumped on those Knights for later.
Yeah, it'll give them a lot of charges to clear. Give both runners a lot of charges to clear through Topher.
Yeah, it balances out nicely. I think all in all, that's a really lovely level 2. Does a good job of providing the information or the spells you need for basically all the contingent. But definitely that Invis 2 is a spell that you want on that Red Mage, because he can use it now and he can use it across the board. So after, I assume, a check at Matoya's closet, where's the next place you're heading? Are you going down to Elf, or do you want to immediately turn?
Looking at my gold right now, I'm gonna go turn in the Crown first, after the Matoya check, if there's no...
Come on, Maddie, show us what's in your closet. Still got 2 loose on the board, because that canal doesn't technically qualify as one of our 2. It's like the unofficial third man of the... Those are some freakish-looking Rurus.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting some route divergence already. Crab Cakes seems to be going straight to Elfland.
I'm sure that's probably because she doesn't want to double-dip Matoya. Which, I mean, you already got the canal. The likelihood of Maddie having something in there is low. But it's still something like, with the gear that you want and everything else, I think I like Asher's play better. In this particular instance, of course, Crab Cakes is Crab Cakes. Normally what she does is right. However, there we have with a slab right there, and 10 grand, and an ice sword. Matoya, I think, was the play to make.
It does seem like the play to make. It depends. CC could grab something nice off of the kindly old king up here in Northwest.
I mean, Crown's still on the table no matter what, and Ruby is nice because that gets you 2 more turn-ins. But being able to get that TNT purchased right now and have that ice sword, I think that's plus slabs there. That's a great one. There we go. There's our TNT purchase. I would assume he immediately goes and turns that in next. So I'll open this up for you, Pleb, or Tyrannix if you want it either. With that TNT, what are you hoping you get from that?
Right now, I'd be looking for canoe or floater or cube. Cube, canoe, or floater would be nice right now, because then it would really narrow down where I should route to.
Canoe is nice. I personally might be looking forward to that key also. Crown gave something. Crown gave Ruby. Crown gave out the Ruby. I had to double check the notes from our great tracker, Ragnarok. So we see Asher wanting over to make that TNT turn in. I have completely missed most of the magic that was around because I was checking notes.
Level 3.
But I do see Life 2 and Cure 4.
That's looking like level 3 had Bane, Fire 3, Lock 2, Harm 2, and Cure.
Oh, our tracker! Fabulous! Thank you! Yeah.
Now, is Asher gonna bless his run with the Hooray Dwarf?
Apparently anyway. Floater is nice to have. That was, I mean, you need a canoe, but the sages might have that, or Titan, or Sarda. That was not something that was on any of our lists, but I don't mind it. And hooray!
Hooray!
So yeah, no, Lock 2 is a spell I love. Fire 3 is not bad to have. And I mean, Cure 4 and Life 2, I don't think we can say enough about those spells. So that 3 and 4 shops were stacked.
Yeah, that red mage is loaded for war, so to speak.
Which is good, since he's the only one we're getting. So Asher ditching out on Elfland. Can't say I blame him for that right now. He's got turn-ins to do.
He's ditching out of the Ruby as well.
He'll be back. Some of our people like to do this kind of weird route, hit Melmond on the way because you're right nearby when you're at Dwarf, just to see what the spells are. Plus, he can get that slab turn in taken care of for a second.
Oh, it looks like Fast is at level 5, and it's going to be promote locked for the red wizard, I believe.
So we got a nice set of little bits of armor right there. I see him not putting armor on one of his fighters. I'm assuming he's going to let one of them die. We got Fast Warp Heal 3, which I think you might have mentioned, and those are lovely spells to have as well. Seriously, all the magic in the early game has been great. I like all of it.
The only notable thing missing from the other game would be Temper.
You can get around that a bit with a power bonk, or just not really terrible fiends, if that's possibly the case. Of course, Crabcake's with that Ruby, she's going to be able to come in here and do those 2 turn-ins. Meanwhile, Asher is having to sail over to Elfland and do an underside check so he can turn his crown in. Not a bad play, at least he's out here. I guess for him, for me, my concern would be what if there was a good item that needs to get turned in around Circle C. But still.
More ice armor, sun sword.
Oh, Earth Cave is immediately on the table, because you're right there. We'll see if our runners decide to do that, because Earth Cave, while, like, not the most difficult one with the spells on the enemies are okay, can be a bit of a slog. So hopefully Tyrannix is with us, and I am curious what he would do at this point as our veteran pro here. You got the rod, you're this early in the game, are you making that Earth play, or are you heading somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm gonna check out this Sarda check right now, but where you're at right now, like Earth, makes a lot of sense. Crystal makes it makes a crystal check be something that you could do, but I think actually like full clear Earth is the play.
With still one loose on the table that actually Crabcakes doesn't even know about, Earth seems like a chest-dense enough area with easy enemies. I mean, you don't want to go to Marsh. No one wants to go to Marsh unless you're Caleb. And, like, if Matoya has something good for a turn-in, sure, that might open up some options. But it's also the kind of thing where if there's nothing good there, then you've sailed back and forth for nothing, you know?
Asher's picking up his ruby.
I think she's two-manning it though, actually. Like,
oh yeah, I have no doubt about that. That's what she would do in a party just like this.
so I think she's actually gonna like not go to Earth. She's actually going to pick up the Marsh check.
Ooh, spicy. I mean, you've raced Crabcakes enough to know her playstyle, so.
No, she just does like the best play that you can do. Like, there's no check about it. She's just gonna like make the best play, and she's going to check Matoya right now.
She'll get that slab finally and be able to single dip this territory, which isn't bad.
Minera said that she's doing a two-man. I think that's gonna if she gets a good weapon for the Hans, it's a good play. But like two-man, I don't like two-man fighter red mage.
I can see doing it once you have them to a certain level, and we get the adamant, so the second dwarf check is on the table. Which, I don't think she picked up TNT, so she gets to do most of this all in one quick shot. I don't mind doing it eventually, once you have a few levels under your belt, so you kind of have, like, a backup fighter along with your primary. It's Crabcakes. Crabcakes can make a two-man party work with just about anything, but I think for most of us, maybe take it to two-man after you've gotten a fighter up into the mid-teens.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe just run a straight three-man strat. I mean, there's enough equipment in the game to equip two fighters and make them both incredibly valuable.
Yeah, I mean, even ice armor's good enough. You can do three-man with the amount of equipment that you can find if you have to dig out enough chests. But that is an if.
Let's pay attention to what Asher's doing, like, right now. Is he doing two-man also?
It looks to be the case.
I am curious. I don't see a highlight on the tracker. I saw her pop by an area, but I don't think she actually bought the TNT, which is curious.
She might have forgotten that it was there in the shop.
I mean, it's possible, but I think Tyrannix and Vi can both attest. CC doesn't normally forget things like that. Hooray! Do get the herb, though, for that turn-in. Not turning in TNT, so she is going to have to double-dip this dungeon. May just have been as simple as she didn't want to spend that money when she still had spells that elves would to buy. I can see that. Asher, meanwhile, is over here at the Sages. The old men doing yoga in the park give us the cube, and now Sky Palace is on the table as well. So with that in mind, Tyrannix, are you doing Earth still, or are you going to go do an early Sky?
I would look into Sky at some point, but I think Earth is. They're still looking for loose items. I think you would want to look for loose items in Sky over Earth, but it's going to be crap.
The chest density in Sky is better, but with a party as weak as she has, only in the early teens, it is also a risk just because you get one bad pack with a decent skill and suddenly you're wiped over and over again. And I mean, vampires and the Whiz-Vamp pack is a scary one on the first couple floors, and even just basic punching, they can knock you down real hard.
Now that herb turn-in is an Opal Cheerio, so there's no canoe.
No.
And Sky is open, so canoe and Sky.
It's one of the only turn-ins we have. We do have the shop already taken out. I think the likelihood at this point is canoe and Sky, unless it's the loose. I think if you're a betting person, you definitely bet on it being in Sky at this point.
You do.
Yeah. But that Opal Cheerio does help the math too. I mean, the more defense you have on your two people that you're running, the more likely a Sky.
She's getting a really good run from her. Like, this isn't like the best party that can run the fighter red.
Now, CC forgetting that TNT kind of gives Asher the edge right now in the early game.
Well, it would if it didn't become the floater that we can't do anything with without the canoe. Like, as soon as that canoe comes on the table, absolutely, Asher has an advantage. But right now it's working to CC's favor that they haven't found the canoe. So there's Asher with his rod, gets to do the math about where he wants to go next. I mean, one nice thing about the early Earth play when you want to do it is the fact that it does mean that you can check those grind tiles there. That first floor has 3 different ones you can do. If you get a good grind on one of them, then that can help make your early to mid game.
Yeah, if they can find, either one of them can find a good grind here fairly shortly, it makes Sky that much.
Yeah, the earlier you can get those levels, the more likely I would say Sky is on the table. Although with Nuke, the walking grind is definitely a factor right now.
Oh, and 3K Pro Rings in Crescent Lake. That is an excellent thing to find.
It's something good to remember for later. I think maybe buy one if you're going to buy any, because there's enough Pro Rings scattered around the game. You hate buying them, and then realizing you spent $9 grand on stuff that, you know, you didn't have to buy later. But you are right, that is a good check to have, at least for the information in your back pocket. Crabcake's doing a little bit of a grind right here outside of this town. Maybe trying to get the money together for whatever she has planned next.
This is a good place to get experience, like to at least level 8 or 9.
Indeed. Well, she's already at level 10 for her, too. I think she just wants... Oh! You know why she didn't buy the TNT over there? She doesn't have the money. There's your answer. She still doesn't have the money. I think she spent it on spells and gear over the course, and hasn't had the cash to buy the TNT yet. I mean, she might have the money when she was there, but if she had other things she wanted to purchase first, I could totally see Crabcakes prioritizing spells and gear over money for her 2-man party. Some blue peats, because she's playing with the fun party colors.
And it looks like Asher's gonna run the same fetch chain that CC just cleared.
Okay, so for Tyrannix, This is a question from Bloom2 in chat, and it's about crab cakes and her play for the TNT and spells and so forth. At low level, are the AoE spells more important than your key item turn-in, or is the key item turn-in more important?
No, I think actually AoE is like more important than they turn in. Like, she's hitting like level 13 right now, and I think that's really important. I think she's going to ice right now. Or
Sky. She's heading to Sky. She is a big proponent from every time I see her in chat of the Sky play. And since it's open, plus you can go blue stake hunting right out here outside the place if you have a couple.
she's playing the 2-man really well.
Oh, she is. She's fantastic at it.
And we have blue steak.
I mean, it's green, but that just means that it's properly aged. You cut the outside off, it's going to be a really nice tender steak inside. Oh, but that steak is deadly! I mean, all that experience gets dumped on the red maid, so I don't think I mind that much. And she does have life, too. Not the end of the world.
And a stack of houses.
And she gets another one. It's first off the power cycle. That's not bad. Oof.
Yikes, that's...
They, of course, still hit hard, though. The Tyro, though, doesn't seem to be hitting for that bad. Steak and Wings is also a good platter. It may not be quite as much experience, but it's still pretty darn good.
Oh yeah, it's gonna help push the levels nice and fast running that 2-man.
I do think it's curious she's not nuking this pack, just because of the fact that, you know, it's a slightly beefy party. Somehow she knew the math, though. She was able to take it down with that last Fire 3. And that's 14 and 17 right there. That Red Mage took a huge jump when it hit that T-Rex meat. Pop a tent, wander on in, and now we are exploring Mirage Cave. Meanwhile, Asher does his Adamant turn and gets his herb, and we'll be able to go get that Opal Cheerio to help him through the early game. Plenty of vampires to kill. Tasty, tasty vampire.
Looks like they rolled... Oh, just some low roll nuke right there. That's never fun to...
And yet the luck of it on Crab Cake's side right there. The one vampire she decided to fight was the one that actually went down. And she gets the Mazamoon and the 8. First floor Mazamoon. You'll love seeing that.
Now, if this guy turns into a power bonk, which would be interesting, to say the least. Where do you go next if there's no Lucens?
I'm trying to think if there is... Okay, if there's nothing but a power bonk in here, and there's no, like, canoe for progression, then that means that the only two places that are really left are Earth Cave and Marsh. Personally, I'm betting Earth over Marsh. Kiernix?
Yeah, Earth Cave.
I'm going Marsh because it's the faster check.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that, but, like, Earth Cave is actually something that could actually be important.
Well, and the very fact of the matter is you have the rod, and it has a fiend in it, so even if you don't get anything out of Earth Cave, you do get completion of an orb. And with that, CC is moving on to the greater than, less than room here.
Yeah,
at
she's
the second
going up.
floor Mirage. You're saying?
She's actually, this room has, like, 10 chests. It's a good.
It's a bit out of the way. I do like this room, though, just because of its chest density.
I'll be interested if she goes more up from here, though. There wasn't anything that they got that was good, so I'm gonna be interested if she goes like up to the Sky Palace.
It'll really be a matter of whether or not she decides that the levels she's getting here are worth saving or not.
I don't think it is, because I don't think that she has the ability to kill Tiamat, so I don't think that it's actually a good...
She does have level 17 fighter with a Mazamoon, and she has Brack. I don't know CC's place so well enough to know how...
I still don't think it's good enough to beat Tiamat. But if she goes deep, then I could be proved wrong.
I missed what it was Asher got in that first box, but he reset out of it, so clearly... And the Hans party is down!
I would keep up a second fighter here, and actually this party, that's just me.
I mean, I get why she isn't. I think at some point, though, she might want to bring up a quick meat shield, so if for no other reason than just to avoid what just... Nothing in those boxes on Earth 1. Now he's going to go over and check what is here for the grind tiles, once he gets past some gargoyles. These chimeras are scary just because they had that stun magic they were using. But yeah, nothing there in greater than less that she seemed to care about, so she is moving on. Ooh, super absorby blue bees. Shrugged off that Mazamoon hit like it was nothing.
I'm not sure she has enough to actually get through air.
Asher finds EXPs here on the grind tile. It's not terrible.
The red mage
have,
doesn't have fast, right?
It's level 6
Fast is
promotion.
available at level 5. Fast was level 5.
Oh
But
yeah,
it might
level
still be-
5. Yeah, it was level 5 third slot.
So the red mage doesn't have it.
It's a bit of a tough place to be in.
Yeah, I don't think she can actually get through this.
Oof. As our tracker just noted, the Wiz Mummies have nuke. So that is a pack that you don't want to see. The unfortunate thing is they're lurking over in Ordeals and Ice Cave. And of course here. None of those are pretty. The Germadusas.
Now, Darkmoon, if you're in CC's position, do you run up, clear out Sky up to the second floor and get your key item and exit out if it's your canoe, or do you push on and clear through T?
So, I think from what Tier Next was saying, he wouldn't play it the way that I would. But I'm here, I'm gonna get some levels on these floors. I'm past the thing that I think had glance. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to at least clear all the way up to the third floor because I'm here and I hate double dipping. If I have to exit, I'll exit. But I'm immediately exiting, saving, dropping a house, and then coming right back in again because I want to kill Tiamat while I'm here and I don't want to have to come back here at all.
Is it the week that has, like, the, air?
Yeah. It's incentivized Sky.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense, but...
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything loose, though, right?
We got
slab.
loose Slab. Yeah, Slab was in Matoya's closet. She stole... They both stole that and her retirement fund, so Matoya is broke and doesn't have anything she can hawk.
CC's doing this like she actually is going to kill Tiamat.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do. The unfortunate thing is, those bad men had other things in mind, and sent her backpacking again. Yeah. So you see how bad this place is.
Yeah, it's. I can't.
It is not friendly at all. Like, in this particular position,
I can't imagine like actually beating my face into it.
I mean, I think if you're here, you have to at least try and see what's at the second floor. Maybe skip everything else and then go check the one incentivized chest. But I think if this continues to be this bad a slog, at this point, having already been booted from here, like, I think 3 times now, I would probably have other thoughts in mind.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, it's just gonna be like the actual like sky chest, like what it becomes. Like if it's canoe, then this is a good play, but I don't know. Like it's too hard.
It is a bit rough here, especially with a 2-man party. Like that extra fighter,
Well, I know
actually
they
just
were
bring it up.
doing.
Might... Unfortunately, Asher's not really having much more luck over here in Earthcave either.
Those badman trap tiles are nasty.
I like Asher's party more actually because I like the double fighter party, but
yeah. No, I agree with that. I think in this position, I fully understand why CC's playing. Stun touch Batman. I fully understand why CC is playing the party the way she does. She loves her 2-man. But I think a 3-man is just that much more safety than you.
yeah, because there's a fighter that's gonna soak everything. So, but she brought someone up, so
She did. That was necessary. You need that meat shield. It's time.
yeah, you have to.
Meat shield changes the map. There is a ribbon. That's why she was coming back into this room. Ribbon is great. A question in chat about where else she could go, and that's still Earth Cave where Asher is at, or Marsh Cave. Until they find Canoe, there's really nothing else on the table. Canoe or a key item that opens something up.
She hasn't even seen that.
No, she hasn't even gotten past second floor yet. Something has always stopped her. But she is getting good levels on that one lead fighter. Like, up into the mid-40s is nice for health. Second one's getting into the 200s. Like, it's all really good stats for her now. 3-man, I think, is going to help her a lot.
Yeah, I
here,
think
make her a lot
3-man
more
is
survivable.
what she has to do.
Yeah.
The eyes are gonna give her like good XP.
Yeah, past that first floor of Sky, the EXP gets a lot better here.
Do they have warp on the Red Mage?
Warp is level 5. I don't know if it was locked or not.
I don't think either of them picked it up.
It may have been locked then. Warp is not a spell you skip.
I think they might not have just had enough gold.
It's possible. That is possible. CC getting her men's up into the 20s now. That is nice to see. And a free run here on these Gurmadusas. Ragnarok in chat commenting that Warp is Red Wizard locked, so we will not be seeing that. And it's the tail here in Sky, so Asher may be on the right place.
Oh no, it's definitely a loose canoe.
A loose something, certainly. I mean, for all we know, it could be a loose Oxyale. Well, no. No, because it's got to be whatever it is, it has to lead to some of our other progression.
So it could still be an Oxyhail, a key, or the canoe.
Well, because
really...
since we already have one loose and it was the slab, it can't be a loose that leads to another loose. It has to be C isn't incentivized. There's a second ribbon there on Sky 2. C isn't incentivized, so it can't be another loose that leads to a loose canoe. I think it pretty much has to be a loose canoe in Mars or Earth. I don't think it can be anything else.
It could still be up in Sky 3, though.
It could be, but if Canoe isn't here, what does she do? So Asher has passed the speed bump that is the vampire. Not even really a speed bump, just a little bit of a pothole right there. So as they note, chat has noted for us, Asher has been skipping some of the trap chests that are blocked by those bad men, because with the way his party is leveled right now, he does not have the firepower to take them out.
He did check.
Oh, does she have the firepower to... okay, she's gonna do this.
There it is. Top section of that weird room, that's the canoe. So that actually gives Cece a bunch of information. She has practically endgame gear now for her 2 to 3 people that she wants to run. She's got a tail. She's got both the loose. She has the floater and the canoe. This is a huge play for her at this point. Whether she finishes out this dungeon or not, she now knows everything she needs to know because she doesn't actually have to check a chest at this point if she doesn't want to.
Well, she might be pushing all the way through because she doesn't have exit available.
I think she actually thinks she's strong enough to actually do this.
She's got guys in the 20s. She's got Mazamune and Brack. She picks up a couple of meat shields, puts them up front. I 100% think she can do this. This is a play I'd make.
She can, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think it's a play any of us could make is my real point. White shirt there for Asher, though. That's an item I don't expect CC to pick up at this point. This bottom quote-unquote, like, treasury room is too out of the way for CC to go to unless she absolutely wants it.
Her levels aren't high enough to actually do this, though. Like,
It's risky. There is an inherent risk in this. Of course, if you want to do leveling, best place to do it here is this Bridge of Destiny.
yeah, for sure.
And since we are on the Bridge of Destiny, can we get some blessed RNGs in chat for a robot?
Let's see if that robot chicken will show up for us. I am feeling some spicy wings. I mean, she's racking up those levels. No doubt. She just needs to, yeah. If she has a life charge, she needs to bring her guys back up. Or not. Okay. Cool. Enjoy, CC. You have fun.
The Mass Moon's hitting pretty hard. 4 hits for 425.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And she's just doing overwhelming damage. She doesn't even care. And there you go. No more Tiamat. First on the board at the 40-minute mark, CC has finished out Sky Palace, and she is on her way in, I mean, effectively go mode. She was go mode at the 35-minute mark.
Now, if you're crab cakes, do you take the dock here at Matoya's and go buy the TNT and walk up and turn it in?
Yeah, I think so.
At this point, you have the money for it. It's basically the only thing that she's really lacking. She knows she's got to be in go mode. She just needs to pick up the last few turn-ins and items. If she remembers the TNT is there, then that's the walk to make.
Asher's gonna pick up an orb right now.
Oh yeah, speed bump number 2 is gone. 40 minutes, 45 seconds. He has his first orb lit, the Earth Orb. So they are effectively tied up. CC is in a better informational place, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Cece's gonna make a waterfall play.
Can't. She doesn't. Oh, she does have canoe. You're right. I was still thinking that we were blocked because we didn't have canoe. My brain doesn't always work. CC coming into town? Probably gonna buy some supplies.
Now, you're 41 minutes into the seed, and you're running a 2-man. Do you just push your fighter to 32 on this 2-man and just
Yeah,
stack?
you do.
Yeah, that's the plan here. I mean, you've got the time and the resources to just let your character buff themselves all as far as they can. 32, I think, is the minimum she's expecting at this point.
Yes, it's actually going to probably be 37 at this point.
As early as she is at go mode and already being in the mid-20s with one dungeon down, I think that's an easy bet. And she's still willingly taking fights too. Like, she's not even trying to run from a lot of these.
Yeah, with 2-man, you can actually do like these solo. With a mass beam, you can do like these nacho fights. Totally safe.
Get some delicious Mexican food on your way past. CC now making a run for the border. That is the waterfall.
You can kill this gas target.
Now, Asher is in here. This is where he sailed to, which is an interesting choice because he doesn't have the canoe. And the tracker doesn't have the Oxyale lit for him because we haven't found it yet. So I'm wondering what he's doing here besides just buying potions.
I think it's just a pit stop before he makes the sky play.
CC's getting a lot of levels here.
Oh yeah, Waterfall is a great place for levels, especially when you can get these regular Mudgalls. Only downside is you do have to deal with the occasional Whiz Mummy, and we know they have Nuke.
How much are you getting the gas dragons? That's really good.
Oh yeah, and they have around 500 health. That's an easy fight to take. Ooh, scary. Ass. Already running from her. And there's the Oxyale, so that's a 1-2 turn-in right there. You're already at this dungeon. I think that puts Sky immediately on the table. So we're waiting to see where Asher decides to go next for his next play. I think he turned too far up. Yeah, there he goes. There's this guy.
There he goes.
That said, he gets the canoe in decent order, and Crabcake still hasn't bought that TNT to turn it in. This changes the math just a little, because it's going to be faster for him to go around the board than it will be for her. Now, at this point, Floater isn't required. Well, no, Floater might be required, because we still are looking for the key and the loot. Could be at Ice Cave, could be at Ordeals. If the 1-2 are there, then that means that our two of our duds are sitting out there in places we don't care about, and we don't have to do the turn-in, but then you wouldn't be able to class change and use some of the...
I think actually, if I was her, I would actually go Ordeals first before full clearing.
Really? Double dip this cycle?
Actually, I think I would actually go to. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I think I would actually go. I would take my boat to Ordeals before like full clearing. Maybe that's the wrong play. I don't
She
know.
doesn't have to full clear, though. She already has the loose. She has all the loose that are on the table. She already knows it, too.
Oh shit, she's not looking for anything loose.
Not unless she's not checking chests unless she wants to, basically.
Okay.
I think the only thing she really needs is another ribbon.
She's got 2 on the board.
She got 2 those. She's fine.
Yeah, I think if she found like a slightly better piece of armor, like an opal or a dragon, that would probably be fine for her. If she found the defense sword, she'd probably be happy with that. But I think she's green and go.
I think she's just gonna boss rush Kraken here and get this side of the North continents.
Yeah, I like the seed play. This is what I would do. You're here, it's the dungeon in front of you, you can get it banged out, then you never have to come to this part of the continent again. Asher, meanwhile, starting his dive. He's got 3 guys that are all decently leveled. He might have an easier time of this than CC did.
To the greater than less than disappointment room.
My disappointment is greater than this lesser room.
Indeed. Ooh, and a big pack of whiz mummies. That's not fun to see.
Okay, so now he wipes, and now he gets to see just how bad that is.
I mean, where we're at, actually, like, CC actually has had something bad happen to her to actually lose this match.
I mean, it's Crab Cakes. I hate declaring things too early, but Crab Cakes is a tank. So, I mean, you give her a lead like this, and it's going to be hard for Asher to catch up. And especially since she's already knows that she's green to go. She is flying at this point. I mean, Asher's levels are pretty good. Level 17 coming in here would probably be like low to mid 20s by the time he gets to the top floor. Just assuming he doesn't run into anything too nasty in the process.
As long as Asher doesn't orphan anything in Sky 3, he should be.
We did have a question in chat asking if class change is worthwhile. I can't remember if they found the dragon armor or not. I haven't seen anything. They have found the Aegis, and there are some spells that are red mage locked. Do not know about red wizard though. Like whether or not some of the ones that we found that we want are learnable. Like, depending upon the gear that they find and the spells that they find, class changing is still very much worth it for this part.
It's all going to come down to if actually CC, if she can get through this theme, that's pretty much the end game.
Mm-hmm.
If she can actually get through this Kraken, that's just the end.
This is the first test for her, certainly. Oof!
And Kraken's swinging hard. He did not skip leg day.
Not in the least. He did, however, skip, like, everything else because he had no health.
Got it.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, the night spells, as chat is discussing, are worthwhile for her to get, because there's Fade and Cure 4 at least on the table for that. So she still has Ordeal, she still has Ice Cave to check, we still need to see whether or not that floater is going to be absolutely required. Uh-oh, she's checking Oasis. She's forgotten TNT is up at Canaria.
This could be just the thing Asher needs to get back in this race.
Yeah. Well, that's a bit of a mistake right there. Not that I can blame her. I have easily forgotten things that were lurking up at Canaria Castle before. It's such an early thing, and then you get, like, caught up in the seed. Sometimes you just forget.
I think she's oh, no, she has remembered. She's going straight to Ordeal.
And, of course, again, may not hurt her, though. If she gets key and loot at these 2 incentive checks that are still on the table, it won't matter. She'll have to sail instead of fly, but at where she's at, it doesn't matter at all.
Nothing too hard to deal with here with nothing too hard to deal with here in the pillar maze, but except
she will. Yeah, I was gonna say she will have to do it properly because she doesn't. When you don't have warp, the pillars maze you. But she did get through it. A couple good guesses, and she's on it right now. Onwards to the second floor. Guard sentry grind tile. Not that Cece's gonna cry. But she will at least take the fights that are in front of her. Even if this one is particularly beefy.
It's one of the advantages to this 2-man strat she's running. She doesn't really have to stop for a grind tile.
No, she just gets levels as they come to her. Wow, even skipping the green chests here. Impressive. And the Wiz Mummy playing kind, only doing Scorch. And that right there is Crab Cake's luck. And the key, one of the 2 she needed. So now she is just open for that loot. If loot is Ice Cave, she has nothing to worry about. Those are some beefy sorcerers. Gets away, moves on with her life. For an awesome encounter, she is heading northward. Meanwhile, Asher is gonna come down to this floor, get that tail, still be looking for that canoe.
And Asher not having a harder time as Crab Cakes did in the sky.
He got past those new Wiz Mummies much faster, and with the 3 men, if one of them gets stunned, he still has someone to swing a sword. It works out a little better for him in this particular version of this dungeon.
So she's missing the loot right now.
Yep. She's missing the loot that may, she's missing the loot. She doesn't have
I think she actually might, like, clear Volcano and Earth finding them.
Really depends on what her goal is. She is heading to Ice Cave from the looks of it. Gonna see if what she needs is over here. If she can get away with not having to worry about Floater, though, she may stop caring about where that shop item is.
Now, if this is a bonk, or anything but the loot, it's gonna be a required airship.
It will be, and she'll be scrambling at that point, trying to figure out where it went. She at least knows that it can't be in Gaia, so it's gotta be in Elf, or Provoca, or Crescent, or Canaria. Because, I mean, the floater can't be locked behind the Gaia, since you have to fly there to get it. And there are only, like, 4 item shops left. So, useful in that regard. She's narrowed it down again so she can remember quickly. It's not going to be that bad a scramble, but it will bleed a minute or 2 towards Asher that he needs.
And Crab Cakes is already pushing level 31 on that red man.
Exactly. That is the benefit of that two-man grind, as we said. She's taking the fights that are easy enough to take, the ones that she doesn't have to worry about, and then if she happens to get some levels in the process, it's great, but she is definitely going to be endgame levels on 2 of them before she's even potentially done here.
And Asher's not doing too bad either. He's up in the mid-20s.
So he got his canoe, so he's now in whatever I decide to grab go mode. And benefit here is that
he's fine, though.
He is. He is, however, going to get another crystal soon. And then presumably they'll at least be on paper tied up. It's just how much longer it takes for him and Crab Cakes to decide where they're going and finish out these last couple. If Mirage and Air had been a little tougher to him like they had been to Crab Cakes, this would be a much further apart.
It depends on how fast he gets through these. Yeah.
Right now I'm going to say Asher's about 5 minutes behind. Maybe 6.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Like, he's behind, but...
It's a Topher wipe, but it's only one. And it could quickly tie things back up if he gets that floater and starts airshipping around quickly while CC is still sailing the world.
CC is taking fights that he's not, though, so he's gonna be, like... She's gonna be stronger at this point.
Mm-hmm. Definitely has at least 10 levels on him. Crab Cake's luck, I tell you, that is the loot right there. She doesn't even have to worry. She can just go.
That's coming.
And she's in a fantastic position, too, because she can just go over to Volcano, take care of it, then sail over to Earth, and sail immediately from there over to Topher. Bing, bang, boom, and she is done.
Yeah, I gotta say her routing has been exceptional this seed so far.
It worked to her favor, most especially. Kyodashin asking in chat, no exit and no warp, so she's basically having to walk everything out everywhere. Which, frankly, isn't that bad, because, you know, gets her levels on her too.
No floater, though.
No floater, but I doubt she cares at this point.
The only reason I would want to promote in Hershey's at this point is to get that cast fast, and
that might be the one consideration that she has, whether or not she cares about those spells. Because it's not even really the gear at this point for her, I think it's just the spells that matter. I know from conversations I've had with her, though, unpromoted is fine by her when she goes in. It's really just a matter of what she has and what she's looking for. CC sailing away. And we are going to see, she didn't decide to do Volcano, which surprises me, because you're...
I think she's going to pick up the TNT.
I think she's remembered where it is. Okay, so Asher is now tied up with her. He has his canoe. He has his floater. He knows where to go. CC, meanwhile, is now walking up into Canaria. Sees that TNT of shame, buys it. And she's now sailing back off. And we'll see what she decides to do next. If she decides to do... Well, she has to do the TNT tournament, of course.
She doesn't have a defense sword yet. I don't think that's been seen.
Yeah, but she can get ruse cast for her fighter if there's a particularly nasty fiend. She might also check this treasury while she's here. It is like 9 chests that are easy to get to with that key. But it's CC, so she doesn't.
And the Asher is the first in the air at an hour and 2 minutes.
Which does effectively put him in the lead right now.
Not really, though.
It is, and it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, I think she has a couple more clears on him.
Ice and ordeals, which we know are required. And if Asher checks the bottle and the slab first, that's going to put him...
That is fair. Everyone in chat is yelling at me that I'm wrong. Okay. We have to equip. There you go. There, equipping that Aegis.
Ooh, Ragnarok pointing out that Asher has yet to clear Waterfall as well.
CC's in go mode right now, but
Yes, yes. I'm okay being wrong. I'm trying to hype it so it looks like they're closer.
Little high five here at Cardia Isles, and Asher's off to Elk.
So Asher's over here doing his spell checks. Looked like he was almost for a second thinking about buying a mute. That's the worst spell. Are you memeing? What are you doing that for? Gloomchew asking, will she raise her meat shields and get them a few levels? I doubt it. Like, it's... She did it once just to get through a couple floors of Sky Palace until it didn't matter anymore. But, like, I don't see the point in raising them where she's at. She might do it when she's in Temple of Fiends, just to, like, raise them up once before she pops to house and then saves and enters, just so she has them. But, like, I don't think she's going to worry about their levels. They're meat shields. They're just there to take the occasional hit and be dead.
I think Crab Cakes is going to pick up Cure 4, and apparently I thought she was going to go for fast. Apparently she's going to clear out Volcano really.
Falconic in chat noting that he would raise them in water and see how far they can survive, which would work great, except she's already cleared water. But, I mean, same play in Volcano. Levels in Volcano are good, too. I could absolutely see raising them here, like, especially if you find a decent grind tile, maybe take them to 15, but Crab Cakes puts on her afterburners and she doesn't stop for anything.
No, with a level 30 fighter and a 31 red mage, I think you just plow through the rest of the seed and bring it home.
Yep. Yep. I think the only levels they're going to get... Yeah. Only levels they're going to get are the ones they happen to accidentally pick up in Topher. That's about it. Asher continuing his spell collection for his warriors, making sure they have everything they want, or could ever possibly need. Invises, phases, fades, ruses. CC meanwhile skipping everything that could possibly be here, and just immediately heading down to the final little room here for this fiend. That was a paper carry.
A nuke in 5 hits gets the job done.
Yep. Paper carry and she's gone, and CC has 1 dungeon left.
Yeah, she's gonna pick up fast. She routed that in with Earth. That's something I wouldn't do, because I'm not experienced enough to route like that, but that's some galaxy brain routing right there from...
She knows what she's doing. think she's finally picking up that fast, so she can be happy.
No, Asher, you need to go to Ice Cave at Ordeal.
Yeah, this is slowing him down now. And on paper, she's once again ahead, because of course she has that third crystal already lit. And, I mean, face it, she's already a quarter of her way to her fourth. And fully stacked with ribbons, all these scorches and sleeps and everything else aren't even gonna bother her.
I think the only concerns I have for CC is Topher. They have been relatively paper over the course of the tournament, but there have been some really nasty ones rolled.
I fought one of them in my first second race. Second race, I got stuffed in Topher for 40 minutes, and that was just one of the worst ones I've seen here. It can happen. Just a particularly gatekeepery boss can show up once in a while, and it will just make you work for it. So, don't count Asher out yet. There is every possibility that Crab Cakes could get stuffed somewhere along the way in a nasty Topher.
And as we know what all the key items are, this is going to be the Thor hand. The disappointment check.
Asher seeing Thor's Mjolnir, looking at it and going, I guess I'll take this, but can you take it back? Can I get something else? Do you have exchange rates?
What I want to know is, since the fairy pulled Mjolnir out of the lake, is the fairy chosen?
Well, I mean, she handed it to him, and he actually was able to carry it. He didn't just immediately drop it on the ground because it was too heavy. So apparently it doesn't take much to be the chosen one. CC is most of the way now through Earth Cave, while Asher is still doing his basic checks and turn-ins. Gonna find all the spells and everything else that he wants. He is definitely preparing for the long game here. This is, in some ways, it reminds me of the battles we've seen between, like, Wilcleosis and Triton. Not Triton, Tristal. Different T name. Different TR name, for that matter. Wilcleosis and Tristal, where it's the fast game meets up against the slow but steady game, and Wilcleosis pulled out a win in both of those ones. It's one of those things where you say it's unlikely that Crab Cakes is going to get stuffed by anything here, and that's true. But all it takes is one nasty dungeon, one particularly ugly enemy on a floor that makes you fight for it, and then suddenly, you know, you're watching someone get, like, stuck for an hour. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and as chat's pointing out, strange fairies lying around in lakes disturbing hammers is no way to form a legitimate pantheon. I have...
I mean, I've seen Kraken on these flags hit a level 35 fighter for 1200 damage. Don't expect that this could just be an easy fight no matter what. So at 1 hour, 10 minutes, 45 seconds, Crab Cakes is the first to enter the Temple of Fiends at an absolutely blistering pace.
All Asher can hope for now is the nastiest Topher, and a lot of unrunnable encounters to slow.
And of course, something to bear in mind is the fact that Asher can do this dungeon here a lot quicker because he has warp. So 1, 2, 3, and he's out.
I don't necessarily... I'm not a big fan of this play, but I do like it. Clear fire so you don't have to come back. Clear out Gurgu, and then check Castle of Orc.
Question in chat from Classic Gamer 76: is CC ever not going at an absolutely blistering pace? I mean, I have seen her get stuffed once in a while.
I've lost to her a couple times.
Yeah, and it's that thing where if she picks a dumb party or she finds something that just stops her cold in the early game, then it's a possibility. But a party like this, Fighter Red Mage, is like her bread and butter. Her getting stuffed by this is a rare occurrence indeed.
Hi, Dangwood. You sexy motherfucker. Yeah, I've lost to CC in the semifinals of last year. We did like standard things, and she just crushed me on standard. Like it was close. Like the second game was close, but the first one was just like she just fucking.
As of right now, the only person not to lose to CC is Cheeseinator so far this tournament.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think Pizza's lost to her more than once in past races too. So CC is a force to be reckoned with. She's not unbeatable, but you give her the right ramp up and the right party, and it's very hard to do so.
You don't do this party with her like that.
Yeah, no.
If you're gonna draft against CC, you don't do this party.
No. Yeah, I mean, Asher had to have gone something really weird on his first pick, because he picked Fighter Start, and CC followed up with 2 more Fighters. Obviously trolling him because, she can play Fighter anything and make it work. The best thing he could have done at that point is pick something really weird, like another Fighter or a Thief or something, just to cut her off from all magic for a little while. Like, a party like this, and you give her a Fighter and anything, it's going to be hard to stop her. And with Party Draft, like, how are you going to really stop her at that point,
Yeah. I mean, I lost to her in the semifinals last year, and then I lost to Spellzap in like the 3rd place match. So that's where I am at. I'm 4th. I'm I'm below Spellzap, and I'm below CC.
CC has already made it past Lich before we even had a chance to notice, and Gary goes down like a domino as well. Meanwhile, Gloomchew in chat asking if CC is the black belt type. No, in fact,
no, she's not.
Black belts. No, she thinks black belts are cheating. She doesn't like them. She much prefers not having to spend time grinding something just to get their full power. Or she'd rather get up and go and just like tear through a seed. Fighters are her kind of player.
Beating Spellzaps is not that easy. Falk. Okay, so we got CC on Kraken 2.
Ooh, an almost back road to Red Mage, but the levels save.
Oh, that's a low. This is over.
Yeah, the only downside is the fact that there's no life that's learnable by the fighters. So if that Red Mage had been taken down, he'd have to live, or she'd have to live with whatever they had left. But thankfully, Kraken was not able to do any of that damage and moves on. These worms are unrunnable, but hey, that gets you some extra levels for your Dan. I love the fact that it's Dan and not Chad, who's the one that's still alive.
And Asher's about to hit go mode here. Or not yet. He's going to be in no mode in 3.
Also skipping all those chests, also feeling like his gear is good to go. He has the key. All he's got to do now is go hit Waterfall and warp out, which isn't going to be the end of the world there, and then he will be good to go. With only one orb left on the table. Unfortunate thing is, like, I think you guys are right. He is more than a Topher White behind at this point.
Ooh, Tiamat's got some HP. 10 hits, 735.
It's a good, strong hit. And it's also shrugging off some of the other ones that's being thrown at it.
Low roll, no.
Another 200 roll, that's not bad.
That is enough, however, to take it out with 876 damage left. Just needs to get away from this Nightmare Evil Man and should be good to go finish this out. She is one boss away from doing this. For Asher to succeed, we need to see one of the ugliest chaoses we've seen in a while.
We need nuclear nuke Cure 4 on this chaos for Asher to have any shot of getting back in this race.
Yeah, this has to be a wipe.
Yeah, has to be a spell-happy chaos with nukes and other non-elemental damage just to tear through this. 3 hits for 76 off of that Ice Sword.
And Chaos has Cure 4!
3 hits for 141, followed up by 10 hits for 774, and a nuke to follow that now, 266. That puts up about a grand worth of damage already on the table. Chad is down. No one cared about Chad, though. No one likes Chad. Another nuke comes out after Tiamat or Chaos stops a couple of them. 119 plus 10 hits for 976. This Chaos has got to be on the ropes. 10 hits for another 1,002 damage. Fire 3 comes out, not going to be able to do anything there. And a nuke for 165. We are probably in the last round of this fight right now. Dan finally stands up. 3 hits for 45 damage. Followed up by a Lightning 3. Not going to do anything. 10 hits, 771 damage. And that is a Chaos down right there. Crabcake's at an official SR of 1 hour, 18 minutes, 14 seconds. Is the first to finish the Temple of Fiends. GG's out in chat for Crabcakes. Knowing how she is, she will not be joining us in the booth, but we'll see us in the chat room. And well done to her. So that was not the Topher that Asher needed to see.
Oh, and CC finishing with a blistering 118.
Yeah, you know, it's about what I expect. My PBs on this particular Swiss rounds has been 1 hour 46 minutes. Her beating me by about a half an hour is just about. CC now joining us in chat. GG's to you, well done. You just showed once again why you're one of the top contenders for the crown this year. Asher, meanwhile, is now heading over to the Water Shrine to do his last bit of combat. Does look as though he is going to finish this one out. Has not forfeited yet, so we will stick with him through till the end. CC in chat did confirm that she did forget about that TNT like we expected, but was bailed out, as she noted, by the fact that all the side quest items weren't necessary, and it was the incentivized items that carried. So Asher is quickly making his way through this water shrine as we stick around here just to see how his whole dive goes. I am curious, with his difference in party and his levels, and him showing us this little glitch here that he loves, how easy his Temple of Fiends is going. Making his way through this last floor, gonna see him go take on Kraken momentarily, as soon as he can get past all these unrunnable lobs.
I haven't got a chance to see Asher's levels. See 24 or 25?
Gotta be somewhere in that range with the party that he's running. Not nearly as high as Crabcake's was, but still pretty.
Oh, still totally viable for Topher Dive.
This Kraken's putting up just a little bit of a fight, has plenty of health, not falling over quite as easily this time as he did for Crabcakes. Still down pretty quick, though. And with that, Asher now has everything he needs to go take on the Temple of Fiend.
Cece was wondering if Asher saw the nuke on the Wiz Mummies. Yes, he.
Yeah, this scene, those Wiz Mummies were not playing around.
Well, they were out for blood. We usually kill them fairly easy and repeatedly.
I mean, you got the money, Asher. Why not just go buy 10 TNTs? Crabcake's confirming that she was hoping for 4 fighters. I think we were all hoping for 4 fighters, honestly. So now Asher heading over here, gonna try and finish out his dungeon. And at 1 hour, basically 24 minutes flat, he is able to enter the Temple of Fiends. We will now see if his run is as easy as it was for Crabcakes. So Splab, what did you think of this scene? What are your thoughts on the matter? How did you...
It didn't roll as difficult as I wanted it to. Gear came in fairly early and in the right spots. The loose canoe in Sky was a bit of a surprise. I was, again, hoping it would be in Marsh.
That is part of the reason why everyone votes Sky, Sky, Sky. Something to remember about the way that the items are distributed now. It used to be in previous iterations of the randomizer, the items were just dropped willy-nilly, and then the game would check to make sure there wasn't, like, conflict that stopped it from being beatable. But the logic, I believe, was redone for the 3.0 that we are running now, and items are actually distributed more evenly and in some sort of quote-unquote logical order. How logical that may be is only the computer will know. But, and that does mean that sometimes we get a couple of go mode or a couple of dungeon opening items early. Maybe pay attention to what the seed is telling you, because it could be pointing you in a direction that it wants you to go. Doesn't always work out, but when you get like both those items on air floor, or for the air dungeon on the air week, you know, it's like, maybe I should go to air already.
Yeah, I did that last week on the fire flags. I went to air, and that was a fatal.
Fire flags are my jam. I love that. I love going to Volcano early, so being incentivized to do that was great. And I think for one of my runs, I got the Sky Palace items before or soon after Volcano, and at that point it's just like, okay, well, going to Sky Palace next. Doot. And that's the same kind of logic here. It's like you're incentivized to go hit Sky anyway. If you have the items for Sky, just go.
She's reminding everyone in chat, don't always follow the items, or never follow the items in FF. So Dark Moon, as we finished our 4th Elemental Dungeon week, what are you hoping for next week for the random incentivized?
I'm hoping for fire or sky. I love those two. Earth and sea don't work as well for me, but knowing my luck, that's what I'll end up with. It's a coin flip, but I would much prefer fire and sky. What about...
I'm more of an earth, sea type person. I don't mind the air flags too much. They're not bad. They're usually fairly quick.
That is fair. Earth is okay. I mean, if you get the rod early, sure. Earth is such a long dungeon to full clear that I really hate doing it early.
Looks like Lich 2 is posing no problems for Ash.
Yeah, Lich was blinking, you miss it, which is, you know, Lich. That's just how Lich rolls.
So with this current party, if he doesn't have any major trouble here in Topher, I'm thinking he's going to finish 135.
At the speed he's going, a 12-minute Temple of Fiends is probably on the board. So, yeah, 122? No, what did he... Double check what the tracker has. The tracker didn't write it down. Okay, so if he was at the 122 mark, then 134, 135, right around there is probably about right.
Asher makes it through Tiamat, no problem.
Easy peasy.
Carry.
Yeah, it's fine. I misspeak all the time.
Well, classic. Lich rolls over, falls into cracks. He's very clumsy.
Indeed. And he's quickly making his way through the seafloor despite its best intentions.
Now, do you move your Mass Moon wielding fighter down into the third slot?
I do, because in case the front two take a hit, I want to make sure I can at least hold A and pray. Yeah, because that's something to bear in mind. If you have only one character left and alive, and they're in third or fourth slot, they can sometimes get the game into a logic loop. And then you'll hit them, and they'll hit you, or vice versa, for the same exact amount of damage every time. Sometimes it doesn't work in your favor, because they'll hit you and you'll, like, die. But if you can get them where they're, like, missing you and you're hitting them for some damage, even if it's a low amount of damage, you can just hold A and pray and get it in the logic loop. And then just wait, and eventually whatever you're fighting will fall over.
Now, the only fiend that I saw had anything remotely challenging on it was Chaos with all that HP and the Cure 4.
HP and Cure 4, yeah, but he didn't really seem to stand up that much. You do enough buffing on your fighter, whichever your lead fighter is, and I don't think it's a huge deal, honestly. Got our one health Oops taking the front slot, hoping that he takes his physical so the rest of them don't have to worry about it. Gotta do a fast on this fighter. Male party gets hit, white shirt gets up. One HP guy gets to stick around a little longer. 10 hits for 616, that is a good solid hit. Another hit like that, Tiamat should be dead. Second hit, 10 hits for 560, not quite over. Nuke follows up. 282 damage. Still alive, Tiamat with a bit of health right there. Ice 2 is going to take out Oops. Oops! Doesn't seem to do much against the rest of them. We're on to the third round of combat. 10 hits for 602, Tiamat still alive, casting fast. Cure 4 comes out to make sure Quad gets to stick around. Fourth round of combat begins. Another sword swing, 10 hits, 655. Tiamat is dead. One boss left. And because it doesn't really matter, Asher takes a victory lap. We're glad to see it.
Asher, the people's champ.
Might not have won the seed, but he won our hearts. Okay, with all 44 party members back up once again, we're getting our charges out, getting things ready to roll. We will begin to take on this chaos. White shirt comes out, puts up a little bit of defense. 2 hits, 174. Oops falls over. That's what Oops does. But he took the hit, and that's what matters. Fast also came out, ready for the second round. Lock 2 comes out to make that chaos a little easier to hit. Mazza swing, 10 hits for 929. Already cranking out good damage. White shirt to follow. Cure 4 from chaos wipes away that damage, but that's not really... No temper charge is going to have to play this otherwise. 10 hits for 932. Another good round of combat. White shirt comes out. This chaos isn't going to be able to hit in very well. Nuke comes out, 253 damage, and we're on to the next round of combat. Sword swing, 10 hits, 873. Fire 3 comes out, that's just chip damage, doesn't really matter. Nuke, 108 damage, and on to the next round of combat. Stop is ineffective across the board. 10 hits, 822. This chaos is going to be hitting those ropes. Nuke for 282 damage, and we're looking for just a little more to finish this out. We know Chaos rolled high, near max for his health. 10 hits for 1350 damage. That Chaos is dead. And with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, 29 seconds, a time that would have won in just about any other race right here, Asher is the second one to finish the Temple of Fiends, has lost to Crab Cakes, but has won our hearts.
Well, 133 is still a very respectable, very
solid.
fast.
Solid. So we're just waiting for Asher to join us in the booth. I think he needed a quick moment before he did, and then we can talk with him. So we do have a question in chat from Ms. Metroid about why it was that Crab Cakes had slightly different looking sprites. She had a sprite hack that switched in the FF3 sprites for FF1, otherwise didn't actually change anything about it though. Sometimes little sprite hacks like that are allowed in our play. Asher, I see you have joined us in the booth. GG's to you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. That was a fun one. I hope you all were entertained.
We were indeed, sir. So how do you feel about that? That 133 is a solid time. Of course, you were going up against Crab Cake, so...
No,
yeah.
I feel really good about the run. I mean, I knew if I tried to go step for step with Crab Cakes that she just plays faster than me. So my strategy was... Sky, usually, the incentive does usually not have progression. Unfortunately, Loose and Sky was the canoe. So when Rod opened up for Earth, I thought, Crab Cakes never checks Earth. So it was a bit of playing my opponent, and it didn't work, especially with a Sleep Gargoyle slowing me down. But, I was just playing to win the race. I said earlier that I was going to play a lot more aggressively this week, but, I'll take the 133, because it's the best time I've gotten this week in any practice, but... Crab Cakes, if you've never seen her before, she is quite possibly the best we have in the community.
She really is. She's a top contender for this whole tournament. Yeah, it's a thing of, you took those plays, and I think you're right. If stuff had been in Earth, that would have mattered. If it hadn't been in Earth, and it wasn't in Sky, which I know you went to next, where would you have gone? Like, was Marsh your next play?
Marsh was the only option because there was no canoe, and if I had gotten kicked out by the Whiz Mummies one more time with Nuke, I would have definitely gone to Marsh. But it was one of those times where I know you called my race with Super Pleb last week, wondering why we left with Exit and didn't stick around Mirage Tower or stick around Sky. This week it's safer just to try and risk the War Mech and take on Tiamat than to go through that again.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agreed with the play of finishing out that dungeon while you were there, and honestly, Tiamat was pretty much made of glass, so all around that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it was nice that I had the extra levels from Earth, which is an oxymoron to say because Earth is terrible with levels. And but I mean, I spent a little time in the Lotus Fields, but even if I had gone to Sky first, I don't think I would have caught up to Crab Cakes at all. She's just good, but I'm really happy with how I played that, especially with the draft. I had a hunch that CC was going to go for double fighter if I started with fighter, and that's what happened. So sorry to disappoint anybody that wanted quad fighter, but watch a VOD for that earlier this week with her and Caleb.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So it's an interesting thing to think. If the item had been an Earth, that actually might have been a bigger advantage to you than you even might realize. Because Crabcakes made one mistake that she was talking about in chat. She completely missed that TNT was in Canaria.
Whew.
Yeah,
that's the randomizer. Sometimes you slip on banana peels. And I'll say this much about Crab Cakes and other runners like that, is that we're all prone to making mistakes sometimes. It's just how you execute throughout from there. And it's one of those things where I've beaten Crab Cakes a few times. Usually she wins, but the times that I have beaten her, there's been two things. It's been there's some kind of mistake, which she very rarely makes, or there's some kind of adversity. And when I saw when she finished, I was like, well, Topher's going to be pretty straightforward, and it was. So how many nukes she got from the mummies, but I didn't get the stuff that was out of my control that I needed. So I'm glad the TNT didn't really lead to too much of anything other than a happy little, I forget what it was now, but it wasn't needed.
TNT led to Floater, I believe, but it's like it wasn't needed to finish out progression. It was more like if you wanted it for spells and to class change.
Yeah, and I really wanted that Cure 4 on the Red Mage, even if I didn't really end up needing it. But yeah, this is one of those ones where everything kind of stars aligned. You, as long as you got the canoe, you could have just boated around everywhere. Not much else to it. I hope, looking back at this, because I do plan on watching this, it'll be interesting to see just kind of what different directions we went.
Vlad, you got any questions for Asher?
No. Did you have any point where you felt behind? Was it after the Earth play?
I felt behind the moment that I checked the tiles in Earth, and the best that I got was EXPs. I thought, well, Earth better have something, and it had a white shirt, which is not nearly good enough. I wiped 2 times on gargoyles, but I thought if I do the 3 strikes and out thing, I would have felt really behind if I had just backed out of Earth, so I'm glad I finished it. But on the other hand, once Canoe was in Sky, I just thought, well, CC went here first. I made my play, and it didn't work out.
I'm glad you gave us the honest answer and not the I felt behind the second I was paired with CC.
No. I mean, she's like I said. I knew I had to make a gamble because I don't know the theme, the great layout that was made by somebody in the commentary booth here today. But no, this is a flag set that does allow you to gamble, and I thought, I can go head to head with Crab Cakes, and she's gonna win by at least like a half length. But if I can gamble and at least give myself some distance to try and go out in front, that's probably the stronger play, especially since we were drafting.
That's fair. Alright, so do we got any final thoughts before we release this channel back to Speed Gaming?
Well, first off, thank you, Speed Gaming, for having us and for putting up with all the Final Fantasy tournaments this week and all the matches. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, my final thoughts are pretty much just if you want to join and plan anything, we have a lot of veterans who are really helpful. Crab Cakes is one of those people that's happy to communicate, lean on stuff, play weird flags. She's one of the best runners. It's really interesting. I've been paired up with 2 runners that are really good at running weird stuff, which is what I really enjoy. So even though I've picked up 2 losses so far, I had a lot of fun in those 2 losses. So the FFR is a lot of fun. Feel free to join the community, the Discord, and this is a good match. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Vlad, you got any final thoughts for us?
Yeah, it was an exciting race to watch. I respect the Earth play a lot, because if it had panned out, it would have paid off greatly. So, I'm relatively new to the community and the randomizer, but I'm learning a lot every week. I get to commentate and watch a lot of you guys run these great races. And I'd like to say thank you to Speed Gaming and to the whole community for putting on such a fun tournament.
And with that, I think we're good to wrap up at this point. I want to thank our runners, asher1611 and crabcakes2, for participating. Make sure you give both of them a follow. I want to thank my crew in the booth with me, the real Super Pleb, Tyrannix, and of course myself, Darkmoon EX, Darkmoon Firelight on Twitch. Plus we had Ragnarok784, I believe that's the number. I'm so terrible with numbers. And he knows every time they say, hey, I got it right this time, Ragnarok784. I want to thank him for tracking. It's fabulous, and we appreciate all the work you do here. Make sure to give everyone a follow. Of course, I want to thank Speed Gaming for hosting us. We can't do this without them and all of our fabulous partners. If you are curious and you want to keep watching us, we have more great Final Fantasy action going on all day tomorrow. It's going to start the first of 6 races. It's going to be Kyu Katsuki versus Darren Dries here on the Speed Gaming Network at 11 a.m. And then, of course, I'm racing up against Caleb at 1 o'clock. Same area, another Speed Gaming exclusive right here. So if you're interested in Final Fantasy action, tune in tomorrow. Keep watching throughout the day. And with that, I want to say thank you from all of us here in the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, and we will see you next time.